And here it is, my review of Batman Cape Crusader. A cartoon I don't think any of us thought we were going to get at first. And, thanks Zaslav. Don't need to talk further about that. Let's keep powering forward. Now this series was something I was very excited to see. I was fascinated to see where they were going to go with this series. It was a totally different universe. It was one more based in like the 1930s, and it was going to be more focused on more like a darker tone, just kind of like Batman the Animated Series, but have a more sinister feel, and a Batman who is still like, this is early era Batman, and this is someone who is essentially like, I am just doing the job. Like, I am a Batman who is here for the fight and not really, and really just kind of be a machine about it. But we do see there is a gradual evolution of the character, which I like. It's like an undercurrent throughout the 10 episodes. So the other thing was that I was kind of worried about, it wasn't so much as like if it like changes, like making Cobblepot, Penguin a woman, or having Montoya and Harley in a relationship. It wasn't anything like that. It was just Bruce Timm. Because Bruce Timm, even though, yes, he is the co-creator of arguably the best DC cartoon of all time, he is kind of, shall we say, problematic when it comes to Batman and Batgirl. Just saying. I think we all know. And also, like, there was that Batman and Harley Quinn movie. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. Bruce Timm wears his fetishes on his sleeve, but at the same time, we had Ed Brubaker working on this show too. Which Ed Brubaker is a writer I really enjoy. I loved his work in Marvel and DC, as well as a lot of his Image work. The dude knows how to write crime noir stories. I think, that's his bread and butter. So to make Batman go back to his like crime noir era is a really cool idea. So this series feels, as one reviewer put it, it feels more EC Comics than DC Comics, because there's definitely an aura of like going back to the scarier roots of Batman. Like, we are doing a Batman that is mixture of horror with science fiction and crime drama. Like, this is a Batman who is like, this is a Batman universe that is a cool, it's such a neat twist on everything, because it's just like, in a few episodes it's like, oh, the supernatural exists, that's just a thing. And it also has some twists and turns that you don't expect, like stuff you didn't see in the trailer. I also appreciate the fact that, like, this is a series that isn't afraid to use, like, villains we know and villains we don't know. And the villains we know are changed to make them feel different. I really enjoy that, and I also like the look at the lesser villains, too. Like, there are a few villains where I was like, there was one villain in particular that showed up in what felt like an episode that put Batman right in a Stephen King novel. You'll know it when you see it. But, like, at the same time, I was like, I can't for the life of me remember who that is. And then I had to literally look it up. There's also, like, some cool Easter eggs to other characters here and there. I really enjoyed a lot of the subtle character building to Batman, where we see, like, there's one scene where Batman's, like, talking about something, talking about, like, how Montoya will be a great asset to the war, and Pennyworth is like, and she's a good cop too, and he's like, oh, what? Yeah. It's like it's more an obsession for Batman at that moment, but we do see throughout the series of him evolving into the Batman we like. You see, the kind of Batman I like is the Batman who is like, he's dark and scary, but he wants to help you. And I think we see that slow transition of Batman through this series. There is some great voice actor work in here. There's some, great work. I think Diedrich Bader, who has done Batman in the who has done Batman in both Harley Quinn and Batman Brave the Bold, he plays Harvey Dent in this series. He does a really good job with Harvey Dent. Especially when he, no spoiler, because this was revealed in the trailer, is that when he becomes Two-Face, he's really good at doing manic episodes. Like, Bader does this phenomenal job at, switching from like calm and collected then to more aggressive, and just like it's like so fast. Like I don't know if he like watched mental patients and seeing like bipolar episodes, but he had to have seen something. The characters themselves are really phenomenal. I will say, though, that it is taking me a while to get into the Batman voice actor himself. I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Batman, it's like, I don't know if I like it yet. It's good, and I'm not trying to say, like, oh, everyone needs to be Kevin Conroy. I know. Everyone can't be Kevin Conroy. But at the same time, there's just something like it's almost like he's trying too hard to, like, put on this voice. And in some cases, like, when I was listening to the voice, I was like, is it breaking? Is he, like, cracking up or something? I don't know. So, it felt like the voice cracked a few times in the, I don't know if that, like, if he just wore his voice out in some lines, but it really felt like, you really need another reread on that, boss. So yeah, the Batman voice itself, it may grow on me, maybe if I give it another, like, few more watches. I'm sure if I give this series another, like, if I gave this season another marathon, I'll be like, all right, now I feel better with it. But right now, I just feel like it just kind of feels like he's trying too hard. I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing. I like what they did with Barbara, and because knowing Bruce Timm, they'll probably have him and have her and Bruce hook up, because that's just how he rolls. It feels less creepy because she's not a kid and an adult. Cool. I like the stuff with Montoya of making her more of a central character. I found her relationship with Harley pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how they'll pick up on that, as well as, like, seeing where he'll go, because she is definitely, like, I really do like this version of Harley where they really utilize her as a psychiatrist, and she's not like your run-of-the-mill Harley where she's just like, I'm a Deadpool knockoff now because DC needed that, or the ditzy blonde. This version of Harley isn't that. She's cold, calculating. It's more of a mental game. She's playing mental war games with you, and she's actually fighting the upper class. That's another thing with these villains, is that several of these villains are not about, like, hurting people, like hurting general people. They're more about hurting the upper class. Like, Harley's whole thing is, I'm here to destroy the upper class and just break their brains because they're horrible people inside and out. And then with Dent, it's kind of the same thing with crime and corruption. But there are other villains who are just the fucking worst. I think the best episodes are... my favorite episode is the Clayface episode. It goes in a way I should have seen coming, and then when I realized, like, oh, it's that way. Okay. I really dug, the Clayface episode, the Gentleman Ghost episode. I forgot, because I saw in the trailer that Gentleman Ghost was going to be in this show, so I was like, oh shit, Gentleman Ghost. I literally forgot he was in the trailer. And the same with Onomatopoeia. I didn't forget he was in the series, but I like how they utilized Onomatopoeia. And there's a few characters who go in different directions that you'll see throughout this show, and I'm wondering, okay, and there's characters I didn't realize that are part of this universe that are like, oh, so I wonder if you'll become who you are meant to be in the comics or not. Again, this is an alternate universe, and it's like a whole new playground, so they don't really have to play by the rules at all, honestly. That's kind of the big thing with that. Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything with this show other than it was really damn good. I thought it was coming out episodically, and I was thinking about doing episode reviews on Patreon, but it was just one long season, and I was like, alright, let's binge watch this bitch and then do a whole season review of this series. So, do I recommend Batman Caped Crusader? Yeah. I do I do think also, before I go, I didn't like the characterization of Harvey Dent, because it really felt like he was too much of a scumbag before he became Two-Face. and they tried like it really felt like at the last minute they were trying to clean up his image before he becomes Two-Face. But for most of the show, you're like, man, you really are an asshole. Like, I know Harvey before he became Two-Face was always like, yeah, cool and all that, very arrogant, but like here he's just a straight up dick, and I didn't really feel anything for when he became Two-Face, but when he did, I think it's more of Dietrich Bader's performance than anything else. But yeah, I highly recommend this show. It was definitely worth the wait. There's some solid action pieces, some great horror too. And I really hope we get a season 2, because what they've done with a lot of the villains and making them scarier, even like lesser villains scarier, I can't wait to see what they'll do with Joker. I just hope they get. I wonder if they'll get I wonder if they'll do like an adaptation of Joker's first appearance in the comics, of like Henry Claridge will die at midnight and whatever, and hopefully maybe they'll take bits of Batman the Winning Card for that story if they do. But yeah, all in all, really excited. Hopefully we get a season 2, and I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this first season. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the first season for Batman Caped Crusader? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.